I state your name.
I,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of police officer
of the office of police officer
of the city of Dallas, Dallas County, Texas,
of the city of Dallas, Dallas County, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Texas.
the Constitution and laws of the United States and state of Texas.
I further solemnly swear or affirm
I further solemnly swear or affirm
that I have not directly nor indirectly
that I have not directly or indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
contributed, nor promised to contribute
contributed, or promised to contribute
any money or valuable thing,
any money or valuable thing,
or promised any public office or employment
or promised any public office or employment
as a reward to secure my appointment.
as a reward to secure my appointment.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Everyone, I present to you the newest members of the Dallas Police Department.
What is it that cops protect? And who do they serve? We have seen that cops are not heroes, and they're not America's finest. We have seen that cops are not heroes, and they're not America's finest. They break laws just as any human being. Cops lie. They are thieves. There are cops that are drug dealers and cops that are murderers and killers. And they have the blessing of the state government and powerful unions, and they have a license to kill. The police is one of the most powerful positions in the US, and it takes absolutely almost no training.
Hear a secret recording of an arrest made by one resident so afraid of the police he carried a hidden camera.
I realize now I walked into a trap. Man, he stopped me in the back after. I was scared. Believe it.
Michael Glover was arrested in Lincoln Heights, a village of 4,000 residents and 17 police officers, including Officer Angela Taylor.
The officer, man, remember me? And before I could say another word, Taylor was charging me, and she had a gun in her hand. And I'm looking down, staring down the barrel of the gun, and I'm just frozen like a deer in headlights.
Contain it. Instead, she called for backup.
Stomped me in the back, in full force, right over the screws that hold my spine together.
The officer was arrested today and charged with making a false statement to federal agents and also filing false tax returns.
Kiana Campbell is an 11-year veteran of the Cincinnati Police Department. Chief Investigative Reporter Craig Cheatham is live in the newsroom with details on this case. Craig, what do you know?
Kristen and Craig, according to this criminal complaint filed against Officer Campbell, she failed to report about $60,000 in off-duty income on her federal taxes for the years 2015, 16, and 17. This is a picture of Officer Campbell in her official uniform for the CPD. The United States.
In his Chevy pickup, the former chief of police, Mike St. Andre, and his wife, Sandy. Both charged, but free for the evening.
I'm kind of glad it's over.
He's only been on the job for 6 days now, and already Robert Dickerson has suspended 4 officers for misconduct, and today saw his predecessor, former Chief Mike St. Andre, charged. But several days ago, Dickerson wanted to take stern action.
I was ready to terminate him last week. However, because of the fact that they were given the direction, as I told you on the phone last week, they were given the direction and the supervision from the chief, and he basically approved the stuff that they were doing on that investigation.
Action News has learned that 4 of the 6 officers charged today are the same 4 members of the Romulus Police Special Investigations Unit who were suspended without pay for 30 days last week. Dickerson made it clear their careers just may come to an end over all this.
I did get some grounds in my last chance agreement along with that 30-day sentence that if in fact that they were charged with the felony and convicted of a felony, that they would be ineligible to be a police officer for the city of Romulus.
Michigan State Police and federal agents raided the Romulus Police headquarters, the Garden City home of former Chief St. Andre, the tanning salon of his wife Sandy, and 2 other locations earlier this year. St. Andre told me just weeks ago it's been a long wait for this investigation to end.
Jennings is live with the video that led to his conviction and the punishment that was handed down today. Alan.
Got slammed, Vince. 11 years, 3 months. Stood before the judge and apologized to his children, the FBI, law enforcement in general, for violating his personal and public trust. The former East Washington police chief left the courthouse. His public defender attorney told him not to talk to me. U.S. Attorney David Hickman, meanwhile, called the 11-year sentence most appropriate.
The videotapes showing actual drug transactions where he was using his uniform, his police car, and operating in a fashion to protect the transaction and then escort the perpetrators to Interstate 79 was beyond chilling.
Here's that FBI surveillance video of then Police Chief Don Solomon meeting with who Solomon thought were drug dealers. They were actually FBI agents and FBI informants.
Purchased law enforcement tasers for a purported drug dealer to use those tasers in collection activities were shocking to say the least.
During a year-long investigation, secretly shot FBI video also captured Solomon delivering his intentions to make thousands of dollars protecting cocaine dealers. And that's not all.
There was another line that captured some attention where he was asked if he wanted to continue in this type of behavior, and he said, hell yeah.
Few places have been hit harder than Kentucky, a state that's also been ravaged by addiction to crystal meth. In Whitley County, Kentucky, in the heart of Appalachia, matters were made worse when the man suspected of being at the center of the drug trade was the county's top law enforcement officer, Sheriff Lawrence Hodge. There had long been suspicions that Sheriff Hodge was dirty, but nobody, not even federal agents, could prove it. That's when 2 local journalists, both in their 20s, launched their own investigation. And they soon discovered poking into the affairs of a powerful county sheriff can be risky business.
You throw them on the ground, you cuff them, and you arrest them for a traffic violation. And, you know, it's ridiculous.
Jim Michael.
A Warren police officer strapping a young mother from Detroit into a chair, restraining her arms and legs, and then slicing off her hair extensions.
Now that same officer is again caught cutting on camera, this time accused of slicing open a prisoner's hand.
7 investigator Heather Catallo has the new video you'll see only here on 7. Lawyers who say they followed this officer's alleged use of force problems for years say it was only a matter of time before this happened again. Warren police officer Bernadette Moore is accused of cutting a prisoner inside the jail.
This is exclusive video from inside the Warren Police Jail. And that is Warren Police Officer Bernadette Nager, who now uses her married name, Bernadette Moore. Officer Moore is telling an intoxicated 19-year-old to remove a bracelet that's made of string. Shannon Morris says she tried telling the officer that the bracelet doesn't come off, but she ends up on the ground.
Your son said something's going on. This is my house.
On September 17th, Kathy Smith was at work.
We've been sitting in the house all day. We know two gentlemen are inside the house, and we believe one of them is a suspect in an armed robbery.
Talking through her home security system.
So we need them to come outside and identify themselves.
Her son was home that day.
The warrant for the arrest, so we can go in the house. Not my son. It's not my son now.
He's had 7 open heart surgeries that caused major neurological damage.
Can I just come home now because my son is disabled, he's developmentally, he's got learning disability, he's a heart transplant patient, I prefer to come home.
Her son can't go to a regular school, too many germs for his already compromised immune system, which is why he was home that day.
So I call my son, I tell him, please just stay in the house because I fear for your safety.
Video from her living room shows how it all unfolded.
I storm in the door, I tell these kids, get out, come on, let's go.
And 3 of the 4 do with their hands up. Smith tries to secure and calm down her dogs while police officers just watch.
I'm fully cooperating with them. They have my keys and my phone.
Her son tells police the teenager they want is in the basement.
They take my son downstairs with their guns, 2 officers, and are yelling at him to find the suspect.
The suspect, 18-year-old John Reyes, was wanted for allegedly robbing a local Walmart. Police say he also posted a video of himself on Snapchat threatening to shoot up Ridgewood High School.
This is not really a good friend of his.
Norwich police did not want to go on camera for this story, but they say when they first entered the home, they believed the suspect was armed and dangerous.
I see that both my son and I were in danger because the police, I don't feel, did an adequate job here. We would have been the ones injured had that child, that kid had a gun with him.
Video shows Smith searching for the suspect in her living room closet. They let her come in and out of the house over and over again, even though they thought a dangerous criminal was inside. She says she feels like they used her son as a human shield, an accusation police deny.
In this area under here.
After finding a gun, Reyes had quickly hidden under her son's mattress.
The police start multiplying.
Norwich police called in the Northern Illinois Police Emergency Services team, or NIPUS. For hours, police say they tried to get the suspect to come out peacefully. Smith says it looked like they were preparing for war.
My house was just a wreck. Everything's turned upside down.
The same door Norwich police had already been through many times before.
Probably 20, 30 SWAT team members that are all just standing around my house. They bring their cooler. So now this is going to be a long day.
And this is what she really doesn't understand. Police had already been inside for hours. They had keys to every room. They had access to the basement, but they still broke her basement door, her bathroom window.
Yeah, my dog was locked in my bathroom. My dog has glass all over him.
Way and to get me out of my house.
It was 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning in September of 2017. While Bobby Sapp was fast asleep in the Winter Park home she rented,
911 sign is recorded.
She says her ex-boyfriend was calling Winter Park police.
I'm not too sure what I need. My girlfriend was threatening suicide last night. I just came to the house and trying to get in.
It was a 5-minute, 34-second call.
She is very well armed.
That Sapp says changed her life.
She threatened suicide by cop before.
I was asleep in my bed. I was not at all contemplating a suicide or suicide by cop.
When police arrived, Sapp's ex showed them how to enter the house.
There's one way into the house that she was crawled through a window, and I don't want to do that. At this point, I want somebody here with me.
One officer lifted a kitchen window, leaned in, and used a clothes hanger to unlock the back door, according to police. Meanwhile, the lead officer was still getting information from Sapp's ex.
I'm asking if there's any weapons in the house. He tells me there's enough weapons in the house to start a revolution.
Then 3 officers made their way into the house, through the living room, and finally to Sapp's bedroom where they see her sleeping.
I'm thinking about the calling the suicide by cop before.
Veteran officer Jeff Markham describes in an interview with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement what happened next.
We're yelling at her to, let us see your hand, let us see your hands.
I didn't have my glasses on. I'm legally blind. So
I couldn't identify anybody. They pulled the covers off of me.
At that point, when she pulled the cover, Miss Sapp immediately came up with a handgun and pointed it right at us.
Sapp admits she slept with 2 guns, saying she and her ex had been in a fight the night before and she feared it was him coming back to the house. She says she had taken a sleeping pill the night before, but did not point a gun at the officers.
Then I remember getting tased.
Markham said when Sapp wouldn't comply, one officer tased her.
She still pointed the gun at us. It comes back toward me, then it goes back toward Lieutenant Blow and Officer Oler, and I fired around.
Sapp was shot in the shoulder.
If I had been pointing my gun and the way that they said it.
Sergeant Bryant is well respected.
Performance reviews going back 10 years.
Sergeant Bryant always displays a team spirit.
Paint a picture of decorated police sergeant Wilbur Bryant
is always willing to assist others.
That would make any boss proud.
Exemplifies all the characteristics of a leader.
By all appearances, the veteran police officer is highly regarded on the Fort Valley State University campus.
He exhibits outstanding customer service.
Exceeds expectations.
He was part of the university president's security detail and in charge of the school's fire safety program. That's how Sinead Hall's 18-year-old daughter told her she first saw Sergeant Bryant.
And he had already seen her at a fire drill, so he had his eyes on her from the beginning.
A few weeks later, Sergeant Bryant arrested the freshman for fighting with classmates on campus.
He pulled up his file, Googled himself and said, "Do you see who I am? Do you see this title? Do you see what I make? I can protect you. As long as you're with me, nothing will ever happen."
Hall says Sergeant Bryant found her daughter's phone number on the police report and initiated a personal relationship.
Well, her first thing was, "Oh, this officer is really nice. He's trying to help me with my case, and he's, going to help me, get a job on campus, and he's looking out for me."
That was February 2018. By spring break, the 52-year-old veteran police officer ramped up what Fort Valley State University's own investigation found to be inappropriate contact with a female student.
Because she was an athlete, she had to stay and train. All the other students are gone. So he goes up, swipes his badge to get into the dorm facility, and then comes up to her room. Then he knocked on the door, invited himself in, and just started explaining, that they basically should be a couple, and what he can offer.
Sergeant Bryant was still in full uniform, service weapon by his side, when according to court documents, he allowed himself into Hall's daughter's dorm room without permission. The university refuses to release the video showing Bryant walking in.
When she was sitting down on her bed, she said he walked over and her feet were crossed, and he put his penis on her feet. That's when he came in and was like trying to get a kiss. What do? Do you run? Do you scream? There's no one there to listen.
It would be a freshman student's word against a veteran police officer. So Hall's daughter decided to record the phone calls.
Everybody now you got some freaking side. You just can't find ways to put it out.
That's Sergeant Bryant on the phone with the 18-year-old freshman.
Why can't I satisfy you in that area? To make love to you would be great.
This goes on for about an hour.
When you walked in my office, I told you this man is important.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm willing to put my job on the line for you, what that tell you?
True.
That tell you that I'm really interested. It's not a joke. It's just like coming to your room and once you got cameras on my hallway, so if you let it pull the camera, they see what room I went to. Did you follow her?
The good thing is she had the wherewithal to understand that this person's not trying to protect you. This person's not trying to help you. He's trying to sleep with you, period. And she was smart enough to pick up her phone and record the conversation.
Hall turned their recording over to attorney Kenneth Lewis, who's now representing the family against Bryant, the university, and the Board of Regents in the lawsuit.
I think part of the reason that this culture and that Officer Bryant was so emboldened to say the things he said on that tape was he's never had any repercussions.
Sergeant Bryant and his attorney declined to comment on
officer who admitted to a drunken and racist tirade has left the force. Michael Reynolds pleaded no contest to kicking in the door of a black woman's home and threatening her family. He also used a racial slur. It happened last year after a bachelor party, and the whole thing was caught on a neighbor's surveillance camera.
In the head. I would have thought this. What crime did I commit? Being a black man in a Cadillac, stopped for a minor traffic offense by a group of racist police officers looking to do it. After hearing the defendant and his fellow officers joke about his injuries as they were wiping blood off their uniforms with disinfectant. 2015. Please be quiet in my courtroom. How does this happen?
To Mr. Dent and his family, I am truly sorry.
Media, and Philly's police commissioner believes they will undeniably impact the relationship between officers and the communities they serve. It's a massive investigation this morning from coast to coast.
No justice!
This morning, the Philadelphia Police Department is breaking out as 72 officers are taken off the streets, part of a social media scandal rocking 8 U.S. cities. The advocacy group Plainview Project compiling more than 5,000 racist and offensive Facebook posts allegedly made by 3,500 current and former officers nationwide.
We will not have racist police patrolling our streets.
The posts, some going back at least 8 years, include comments like "Death to Islam," others promoting violence, one meme reading, "Get the protester plow," another saying, "I'll just shoot you and be done with it." The database also revealing multiple references to the Confederate flag.
It makes me sick. In one of Chicago's grittiest neighborhoods, locals say sometimes the back is rolled up to reveal the Nike shoes inside.
Instead of y'all chasing crime, you try to create crime.
Then they wait for the young men of Englewood to discover it. On this YouTube video posted by anti-crime activist Charles McKenzie, outraged residents call that entrapment.
Y'all baiting our young kids.
It's a base
The streets of Chicago's South Side are among the city's most violent, but neighborhood activists say the bait truck preys on poor black children, tempting them to steal what they wouldn't touch if police hadn't put it there.
What is it that cops protect? And who do they serve? We have seen that cops are not heroes, and they're not America's finest. We have seen that cops are not heroes, and they are not America's finest. They break laws just as any human being. Cops lie. They are thieves. There are cops that are drug dealers and cops that are murderers and killers, and they have the blessing of the state government and powerful unions, and they have a license to kill. The police is one of the most powerful positions in the US, and it takes absolutely almost